Hi, Nick Huston here for Gotham Sound and Communications, here with the new Lectrosonics transmitter, the DCHT stereo digital transmitter, also known as the digital camera hop transmitter. Right now you're listening to me through it and the Lectrosonics M2R. We've prepared a short video that'll take you through all the ins and outs so you can see exactly what's what, and then we'll come back to do questions. Let's roll the video. Hi, Nick Huston here for Gotham Sound and Communications with something new from Lectrosonics. Today we have the Digital Camera Hop Transmitter, or DCHT. So here it is in the box. We're going to open the box. We're going to look at what's inside the box and turn it on, play with it a little bit, talk about it, and all those things. So anyway, opening the box, you've got your standard Lectrosonics packaging here. Over here you've got the DCHT, or as I was just calling it on the phone, the DCHT. So there it is in its own plastic bag. Yeah, Renee from Lectro really got a kick out of me calling it DCHT. So there's the DCHT itself in a nice little plastic bag. Underneath, all of the normal cardboard holder inner things. Got a nice quick start guide. We've got the standard Lectro warning about how to set your gain correctly, and also to make sure to set your compatibility mode. More on that later. We've got 2 Energizer lithium batteries, and we also have 2 antennas. So the thing that's interesting about it coming with 2 antennas is that indicates that this transmitter is full wideband. So not like A1 and B1, which was usually 3 blocks. This one actually goes all the way from 470 up to 608. So you would pick the transmitter that's most appropriate. So if you were anywhere from 470 to block 20, you would use the block 19 antenna, and anywhere from block 21 into block 23, you'd use the block 22 antenna. So let's take a look at the DCHT itself. So as you can see, it's got kind of a standard Lectro keypad, similar to all of the new SMW and LT transmitters. You got your menu button, select button, you got your back button, power button, and up and down buttons. On the side, you've got a USB update port and part for a wire belt clip right here. There is a slot to put in a spring-loaded belt clip on that side. On this side, it's got the exact same battery door as the LT transmitter, so you could use LT battery eliminators if you wanted to run it off of a BDS system or any kind of external power. And the real interesting part comes on the top. Pretty similar to some of Lectro's other products. You got your antenna, you've got audio indicators for channel 1 and channel 2, your bidirectional infrared sync port, multi-programmable switch, and right here, this is a TA6 connector. So you're not going to plug a standard lavalier in here wired for Lectro, because that would be TA5. This has a whole new set of cables. So TA6. So what you can do is you can plug in 2 different XLRs, 2 different mics, 1 AES signal, but everything's got to flow through this TA6 connector. All right. So let's do a quick side-by-side with the Lectro LT. And I'll put an antenna on it just for good measure so that people can see how it looks. I like the gold connector on the SMA. I don't know why, but it kind of makes it look fancy. All right, so here it is side by side with the LT. As you can see, it's a little bit taller, exactly the same width both ways. Exactly, yeah, but it's just the height that's different. Okay, so that is the LT, but they really do look like they are, bigger brother, little brother. All right, so let's power it on, and we will go through the menu and see what's going on in there. So battery door slides down like so. There's some nice indicators to show you which way the batteries go on the back. Pop those in there and close the battery door up. So to turn it on, same thing with all Lectrosonics products. If you push and hold the button for less than 3 seconds, it will not be transmitting. If you push and hold it for more than 3 seconds, it will turn on and transmit. So I'm not going to transmit because I'm not sending to anything at the moment. So we'll just turn it on. Boom. So RF is off. Now, if we look at the main screen, It says DCHT there. You've got your battery level, and it also says, hey, I'm not transmitting. Then you've got your frequency, which we're set to 470.1, and then you've got your audio levels right there. Okay, so why don't we'll go into the menu and see what we can see. All right, so first thing we've got is the gain. So right now we can go up, we can go down. We've got our little meter right there, very exciting. We can change the frequency. This menu here, M2R, is pretty interesting. So this is all done for the infrared. So right now you've got a couple of different options. You can get freak for frequency, send frequency, get all, and send all. So what that means is if there are any other characteristics that go along with that you would need for a receiver to be able to be compatible with this, like let's say compatibility mode, you could actually send the compatibility mode via infrared so that the receiver will be able to hear it, not just get the frequency. That will become more important later when we look at some technical documents. Then you can also name things. So if you're looking at the M2R, which right now is the only receiver that works with, you can actually name this transmitter, and you can name the channels on it. So if you wanted to name them left and right, or camera 1 and camera 2, or Nick and Huston, you could do that. And then same thing with flex. That would be for a receiver to be able to tune between different things. So if you're using this, let's say in a reality situation where you've got multiple bags and you want people to be able to go back and forth, you would have one transmitter be your primary transmitter and then another be your flex. So that's pretty interesting, and I'm sure that'll be fleshed out more as we learn more about this transmitter. You can program the switch. Remember we talked about the little switch on the top. So right now it's set to none. You can have it mute, or you can have it turn the power on and off. I'm going to go ahead and leave that at none. And let's see, you can set the roll off, so you can change the high pass filter. Right now it's set to 70, but it looks like it goes all the way down to 20 and way up to 150. So we'll just leave that set to 70 there. Stereo mode, so this is interesting. So most people are going to use this as a camera hop transmitter out of their bag where they're sending left and right. But in an instance where, let's say, you were using your IEM as a boom operator where they were hearing the mix and then you wanted to put a push-to-talk mic in line, you might want to have the gain be independent. So you can change it from linked to independent, so that way you can get a better level independently on each thing if they're not actually linked. Okay, so then you've got your input type. That's just digital or analog. So right now we're set to analog, but it can take an AES signal in. And then input config. So right now we've got it set to line input, but we can change it to a dynamic microphone, or we can change it to a DPA, or a B6, or a Sanken COS11, MKE2, the M152 made by Lectro, or any other miscellaneous lav. By the way, these three, just the MKE2, the M152, and the other lav, are all the same. And this basically just optimizes the input configuration for that lavalier input. And that's, oh, there was one more. There it is, custom, mic low 2. If that is, oh, it looks like, what does that do? Oh, oh yeah. Oh, I found a new thing. Look at that. So, oh, cool. All right, so then there are all these other custom settings. Mic low 2, line in, mic high 2, a bunch of other different settings. If you need to, if you really want to get something customized, optimized for whatever it is you're doing, you can go through these custom settings, which that's kind of neat. I didn't even see that before. Same thing for input 2. You can configure that input completely separately. Types of batteries, lithium or alkaline, so your battery meter is accurate. You can set a timer on this, so if you're somebody who likes to use rechargeable batteries, then you can change the timer so that you're actually keeping track, because sometimes rechargeable batteries are not quite as reliable in terms of the voltage reading. So a timer is better. You can turn the remote on and off, so the dweedle tones that Lectro is famous for. In a bag, you're probably going to want to have that set to ignore, so that if somebody dweedles one of your Talon and it gets to your camera transmitter, you don't change the frequency. And then transmit power, you got 10, 25, and 50 milliwatts. So this is not, since this is a digital transmitter, this is not the same thing as saying 50 milliwatts in an SMQV, let's say. A digital transmitter typically functions with longer range at lower power. And so this is going to be more comparable to the M2T at 50 milliwatts than it would be, say, to an SMQV or an LT at 50 milliwatts, where you're going to get better range on this. Okay, you can lock the screen, you can reset to factory defaults, and that is the ball game. So one thing that I really want to point out from the literature that we've seen, or that I thought was interesting, and this is more of a teaser of things to come, is if you take a look at the specification sheet, something that is not available in this firmware, but I thought was interesting, is if you look at the compatibility modes, it's got two. Not only the duet, which is the IEM, the M2R, that's currently available, and this is the only receiver that this currently works with, but there's another compatibility mode called DCH for digital camera hop, or DCH. And so theoretically, or at least what I'm guessing from seeing this, is that there's another receiver in the works that's going to be able to receive audio from this DCHT, digital camera hop transmitter. So all that being said, that's things for the future. That's the DCHT in a nutshell. They're available now. We have them in stock. They're on our website. They're in the store, all the things. And stay tuned for more news on this and other cool new products in the location sound world. Okay, great. So that was the unboxing video that we prepared for the DCHT, digital camera hop transmitter by Lectrosonics. So just to review, this is a 2-channel digital transmitter, left and right. It can take any kind of input, analog or digital. And in terms of analog inputs, you can do mic level, you can do line level, you can do 2 different lavs if you wanted to. So there's really quite a bit of flexibility on the inputs here. One of the big questions that we got from in the comments was whether or not it has a built-in recorder. It does not have a built-in recorder. So it is a straight-up 2-channel transmitter on 1 carrier. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments and we will get to them, and we have one.
Justin says, does it work with the SRCs?
It does not. So this is a full digital system. There is no backwards compatibility with analog. So right now, the only receiver that's available to work with this would be the M2R. So you can see them next to each other and all happy with lights blinking and stuff. Good? Okay.
No more questions.
Great. All right, perfect. So the only thing that I wanted to run through is because yesterday for the unboxing video, we did not have a TA6 connector, so we could not build the input cable. I just wanted to show off for fun that the panning does in fact work. So if we can get the close-up, perfect. We'll go left, and you can see the left channel goes on both the DCHT and the M2R. And then if we go right, you can see the right channel's up. So that's pretty fun there. So the only other thing I could think of to show off would be how to set up the M2R and the DCHT together. So Jason, if you want to switch over to my lavalier rather than this MKH50, we'll get going. We good? Okay, great. So to start off, I'm going to actually turn off the DCHT. All right, and we'll go into the menu settings on the M2R. And we will go all the way up to, there we go, scan, no, Smart Tune. So we'll just do a Smart Tune. So we'll push menu, we'll let it do its little scan to find the best frequency, which is pretty nice to have that on a belt pack receiver. That's not super common for something that could be used for IFB monitoring to have its own built-in receiver. Certainly the R1A does not have that. Which is the last Lectro generation. So it's going to scan the whole spectrum and pick 591.3. And now we'll turn on the DCHT. We'll push and hold for 3 seconds. as is the standard. And then what we'll do is we will go to where it says M2R, and we'll tell it to get the frequency. So we'll line up our infrared and tell it to sync. IR sync OK. And boom, there you have it. Now you can switch back to the MKH50 that's right in my face, and you can hear that we're getting full, or not, I guess not full quality audio, because this is using the IEM compression for the M2R, so it's not full quality audio. It's a monitoring quality audio, but it is still stereo. And that's it. Are there any other questions, Joe, from the universe?
No other questions.
All right, perfect.
Oh, actually, one more. Matt Mason says, will it ship with a TA6 connector?
It does. So the ones that we've got in have not shipped with a TA6 connector. We'd certainly be happy to include one of those for you if you ask us, because we're getting a shipment in. But we also did ask Lectrosonics, hey, maybe you could just include one of those with that. So maybe that request will be heard, or maybe it won't be. But at this time, does not ship with a TA6 connector. And as we probably should have mentioned, or as is mentioned in any of our literature, there are a bunch of different input cables available for this. We're using right now a TA6 to dual XLR female. There's also one that goes to just one XLR female for AES. There's one to 2 TA5M for 2 different microphones wired to Lectrosonics, and we can do any kind of customization there. Yes, Joe?
So the questions are coming in a little more. What's the retail price as of now?
Retail price as of right now, the launch price on February 26th. Is it the 26th?
Yes.
Oh, great. It's the 26th. Is $1,739, so $1,739 USD.
And one more question. So the M2R can use it to send 2-channel mix to the camera, or it can be IFB in the bag?
That's correct. Yeah. So if you're using the M2T right now, let's say you're a cart-based mixer, and you're using the M2T to send your IFB signal, whether it's to your boom operators or directors, producers, whatever, the DCHT is a really great companion for your bag, because instead of having to have a half-rack transmitter, you can have a small battery-powered internal battery-powered one for your bag that you can just flip the receivers over to the new one. Or if you are somebody that wants to get into doing like what I do for reality television, is I will actually send an IFB signal out as a mono signal and use that as a reference feed on the camera, either with an IFB or an SRC or 411, but in IFB mode. And then the producers can tune into that very same mix using an IFB. This would be the same thing, except you would get stereo to both the camera, and the M2R has some different mixing capabilities, so they could tune in to just the left or just the right, or they could mono it together. But you could just use one transmitter to service both things and get a much higher quality signal than you would with say, an IFB quality signal. Great. Good. Any more questions?
No more questions.
No more questions. All right, fantastic. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't quite remember what this is. As I said at the end of the video, I think this is a preview of things to come. That other compatibility mode, the DCH compatibility mode, leads me to believe that there will be something like a DCHR. Lectro has not announced anything and won't say anything, so this is all speculation and conjecture at this point, but I love speculation and conjecture. So there you go. But new digital transmitter available now. We have stock. It's on our website. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to get me diction classes, and then I will talk to you without slurring my words. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us or call us anytime during business hours. And in terms of things that are coming up, we have our Build-A-Bag workshop in a couple of weeks in New York City and Atlanta on Saturday, March 9th. We've got the Gotham Sound Expo a couple weeks after NAB on Saturday, May the 4th.
Be with you.
Star Wars joke. What?
be with you.
Yes, may the 4th be with you, but Star Wars joke there. You can watch this video and others on our archives at gothamsound.tv. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram for more stuff like this, any of the latest and greatest news. And if you have any ideas or questions, please email us at info@gothamsound.com or call us in either our New York or Atlanta shop. Thank you so much for watching. You take care now.